Hello, I'm Cameron. I'm the developer behind WorkoutMetrics.fit. WorkoutMetrics is a web app that gives Strava users with a free account access to features that were once free to them, but now have been slowly migrated behind a premium subscription only. For those of you unfamiliar with Strava, it is the leading digital community for active people. It has over 120 million users across 190 countries. You can track an activity using your phone or any GPS device and upload it to your feed. You can also tailor it to be as training focused and competitive, or as relaxed and social media-esque as you prefer. The inspiration behind this came at the end of 2023 when they released their annual year in sport. This is similar to what Spotify does at the end of the year, where you get to go in and you get to dive into your own personalized data. I discovered that this year it was also paywalled, so I decided I wanted to build something at least similar to it. This is the landing page for Workout Metrics. From here you can just click the Connect with Strava button, but you can also scroll down to see some of the features and some of the frequently asked questions. You can toggle these to read the answers. Once you're ready, you can click the Connect with Strava button, where if it's your first time, you'll be redirected to Strava to log in and authenticate the use of our app. Otherwise, you'll be redirected here to the loading page where we will start syncing your data with Strava. Once that's done, you'll land on the dashboard here component, which shows you just your year and week at a glance. It also includes down here a daily kick in the butt, which is an inspirational quote that changes daily. The charts allow you to dive into your data a little bit more and analyze trends, and you can toggle here between previous years and by default, the current year. Similarly, the stats component shows you some of the stats based on your data. All time is what loads by default, but you can also toggle back between individual years. The heat map component shows you where you've tracked your activities all time. So the way this works is the brighter the line, the more you've traveled that area, and vice versa. So these lines over here that are pretty dim are areas I haven't gone over too much, whereas up in Denver I've gone quite a bit. The Hall of Fame component allows you to search through your activities and favorite them for easier retrieval. In order to adhere to Strava branding guidelines, we also have this View on Strava link, which redirects you back to Strava. The Add Workout component allows you to add a file or fill out this form, and once you hit submit, it will update and add that activity to Strava and also update the dashboard component. We also included a few settings in here for user experience. You can toggle between a light and dark mode, and you can also toggle between imperial and metric units. If it's been a while since you've used the app, the data on here is probably outdated. So we included this refresh data button in order to resync with Strava and get everything updated. The front end of the application was built using JavaScript and React, and it is hosted on Vercel. The backend server was created using Node.js and Express, and that is hosted on Heroku. I also use Mongoose to communicate with a Mongo database that is hosted on Mongo Atlas. At one point in time, this app used a free API to get inspirational quotes for the dashboard, but after some use, I found that it was pretty bad, the quotes I was getting back. So I built a web scraper using Node.js and Puppeteer to scrape several different websites so I can get quotes and fill that endpoint of my database. The front end uses several different libraries and APIs. To start, the charts component uses chart.js to display and animate the charts. It uses a Mapbox API for the heat map component as the map layer itself. And then it uses deck.gl as a data visualization to get the heat map data displaying on top of the map. It also uses the weather API to display the weather. And most importantly, the Strava API for user authentication, as well as getting the user's data itself. In the future, I'd like to do several things, including improving the developer experience by moving code over to helper functions and just improving the overall readability. I'd like to implement global state management throughout React, either using Reduct or just the React library built in. There's other further considerations I'd like to make for the user that get pretty specific depending on what type of activity they primarily do. But that's something I've considered. And then there's also some refactor for scalability I'd like to do. I'm currently rate limited by Strava to only 2,000 API calls a day. So it's not very scalable in the large sense, but there are some refactoring I could do to kind of work around that in a sense.